Hello, everyone. This is Team 3176's series on the standard software installs for the 2023 first FRC robotics season. This is part 8, where we install Git. All right, so to start off, you want to go to char3176.com. You then want to click on Standard Team Software Installs. And then you want to scroll down to the heading labeled Git. Now, not Git extensions, okay? Make sure it just says Git. We will do Git extensions later. Git and Git extensions are not the same thing. They work together, but not the same thing, all right? And then you just click on this Git link here. This will take you to the official Git website where you can download versions for macOS, Windows, and Linux. All right, we're going to do Windows, so I want you to click on Windows. And you'll see you have several options here. You have a standalone installer, and you have a portable, which will install it to a thumb drive. You can take it around with you. Don't do that one. Again, do not do the portable one. We're going to do the standalone installer. If you have a 32-bit machine, which I doubt any of you do, then use a 32-bit Git for Windows setup. Otherwise, do the 64-bit Git for Windows setup. Just click on that. It'll begin to download it. All right, downloads fairly quick. And once you open your Windows Explorer, or your File Explorer, I want you to go to Downloads, and you should see a file git dash, in this case 2.37.3-64-bit.exe, right? Okay, so just double click that, and it's going to start an installer. First, it's going to ask for elevated permissions. Just click yes. First thing that comes up is its license. It's a GNU, General Public License. Just click next. Then it's going to ask where to install it. I very strongly recommend you just go with C:/program files/git. Click next. Now it's going to ask you about various options you want to install. If you want the icons on your desktop, you can click this option here, additional icons, or now what I do recommend that you click in addition to the default is the check daily for Git for Windows updates. That will make sure that your machine stays updated. And then there's another one, a new, this is kind of hard to explain if you aren't familiar with Linux or shells like Bash or ZSH or CSH. I guess I would recommend going ahead and clicking that. All right, so then click on next. This thing going to ask you what the program shortcuts in the start menu folder should be called. I recommend sticking with Git. Click next. It is then going to ask you what you want to use as Git's default editor. Now, I personally use Vim, but I do not recommend that for you guys. You know what? Let's go check real quick. I want to make sure that Notepad is still available on the default Windows install. And yeah, it is. All right. So I would actually recommend for the majority of you, you can start out with using Notepad as Git's default editor. In time, if you want to advance Notepad++ or Visual Studio Code, even Sublime Text or Atom, yeah, just have a chat with me. Be happy to guide you through that as well. But for this time, we're just going to use the Notepad as Git's default editor. So select that. then click Next. Okay, so let's see here. Adjusting the name of the initial branch in new repositories. Okay. Let Git decide. All right. Do not override it unless you know exactly what you were doing. Let's go with let Git decide. Click Next. So how would you like to use Git from the command line? Let's see, use Git from Git bash only, or Git from the command line and also from third-party software. Use Git and optional Unix tools from the command prompt. Let's go with the recommended option here. It is probably the best one for people who don't have extensive experience with Git, and that option is Git from the command line and also from third-party software. You click Next. Choosing the SSH executable. Use the bundled open SSH. That's the one you want to select. Click Next. Choose HTTPS transport backend. Again, use the open SSL library. Do not use the native Windows secure channel library. Use the open SSL library. That's the best. That's the one that works best for our purposes. Click Next again. All right. Now, line endings, the end of line in text files. If you were able to actually see how text files were encoded, you would find that on Windows systems versus Mac systems versus Unix or /Linux systems, you would find that at the end of every line, there's a different type of special code that tells the text editor that's the end of a line and to go to the next line in the file. In our GitHub repos, we want to commit Unix-style line endings. But when we work with a checked out repo on Windows, we want to be able to work with Windows-style line endings. That means that you want this first option here, check out Windows-style, comma, commit Unix-style line endings. And click Next. Okay, configure the terminal editor to use with Git bash. Let's stick with mini TTTY. Click Next. Choose the default behavior of Git pull. Let's just stick with the default, which is fast forward or merge. Click Next. Choose a credential helper. Select the Git credential manager. If any of you guys click none, just don't do that, please. You're going to be in hot water if you do. That's a real pain to try and fix, so let's stick with the Git credential manager. Click Next. Configuring extra options. Which features would you like to enable? Do you want to enable file system caching? Yes. Do you want to enable symbolic links? Let me think. Actually, I'm not sure that's... And you know what? We don't really use... Yeah, leave enable symbolic links unchecked and click Next. Configuring the experimental options, do not check either of these. If you're ever interested in trying those out, have a chat. More than welcome to let you try out the experimental features after we've progressed past just the basic stuff and made sure all that stuff works. Then click Install. Get the install bar and we wait. Almost there. What do you think? Can we do a countdown? Do you think I'll get it? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Crap, too fast. Okay. You're now at the completion of the Git setup wizard, and you're going to be presented with the option to launch Git bash. Just leave that unchecked, or view the release notes. If you want to read them, sure, go ahead, but generally I just don't check it, and click finish. And that's it. Let's try one thing before we walk away here. I want you to open your, for you guys, I think it'll be Windows Terminal. No. Let me see, Command 32. Yep. Let me just try CMD. Oh, there we go, Command prompt, all right. I don't actually know if this will work or not. Inside of there, you're going to get a window that looks like this. If you type Git, yes, excellent. And if you type Git and you see usage :Git and then all this other stuff coming after it, which is essentially telling you these are the options that are available to the command line version of Git, or I'm sorry, on the command line for Git. Then yeah, everything's been installed and you're all good. If you don't see that, pop me a message. Something's probably wrong that we need to fix. You will want to make sure that you get this result before you move on to Git extensions. All right, guys. And with that, that's the end of part 8. See you next time on part 9, which I believe is installing Vim. Most of you can actually skip part 9. You're not going to be installing Vim. You're going to be using Notepad instead, so it's already installed. No need to install it. So you're not going to use Vim, then which for first timers, I recommend you don't use Vim. Yeah, so for those who are not going to be using Vim, then go ahead and skip part 9 and progress to part 10 for Git extensions. Hope I got those numbers right. Part 9, part 10, yeah. Just progress the installation for Git extensions, all right? All right, catch you guys later.